Welcome back to episode 7 of the Risk Play Podcast. I'm your host, Dante Washington. Alongside me, my co-host, Benny Rodriguez.
What's up?
And today, we have a full slate of things that we would like to get into.
Yeah.
So we're just going to jump right into it.
Okay.
This past weekend was the MLB playoffs. MLB wild card, I should say, where there was a lot of intriguing teams that made it to the next round, including a very young team by the name of the Cleveland Guardians. So, Benny, man, hopping right into it. Do you think the Cleveland Guardians can be the MLB version of the 2021 Bengals?
I would definitely say yes, being that, they didn't start off the season so hot. I don't know exactly what their record was, but I know they weren't doing so well. And then I know they picked it up the last month of the season, and they just went on a complete tear. And then they just swept Tampa, right? So, and now they got to play the Yankees now. I think we handled them pretty easily, but I would say yes, but I do think there's another team that you could also compare them to, which is Seattle.
Oh yeah, Seattle's a good team.
Seattle's going under the radar right now. They just beat Toronto, and before this year, I'm pretty sure nobody had them even being a 500 team, or even reaching the playoffs or. So, but, to answer that question, I would say, yeah.
Okay.
You?
No, I definitely do think they're the MLB's version of the Cincinnati Bengals, because a lot of the season was very similar to each other, where it started off slow, and then all of a sudden they caught a break with injuries, to the Ravens, and then there was injuries to the White Sox. So they caught a break, and then they got hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And they got a very young team that I think is just very entertaining to watch. I watched one of the wild card games, game 2, when they went 15 innings.
Oh, you watched that game?
It was 1-0. I'll tell you this: I really don't watch baseball like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was low scoring, I thought in my opinion that I was gonna turn it off. That might have been one of the most entertaining low scoring games I ever watched in my life.
Yeah, right. Cause it's just
yeah, the Guardians. They're entertaining. They got cool walk up music. They have cool celebrations, and their personalities just show through their music. How they hit home runs, how they walk around the bases when they hit the home runs.
Yeah.
And I just think that is very good for the MLB, because the MLB was lacking in that area where, the players really wouldn't celebrate. They really wouldn't talk. Somebody did try to celebrate. Players had a problem with it. So, yeah.
We got MLB playoff predictions. I mean, so we got the second round now? Yeah.
Maybe second round.
So you got the Yankees and Indians. Being a Yankees fan, I think the Yankees handle business there. And then I think the other AL matchup is Mariners and Houston. As much as I want to pick Seattle to upset them, I think Houston is just too good. And then I think it's gonna be the Yankees and Astros. And I think that we're gonna get them back. I think Yankees in 7. They're gonna go to the World Series. The NL, you got Dodgers and Padres?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'll take LA on that one. Then you got Atlanta and
Phillies?
Yeah, and the Phillies, who I think actually play in an hour.
Really?
I think they kick off. I'm pretty sure it's them. I'll take Atlanta there. And then you got the Braves and LA in the NLCS, and I'll take.
You're right.
Yeah, right.
107 is a weird time.
Yeah, right. That's so weird. And then I think you got the Dodgers and Braves. I'll take the Dodgers to move on. So I got Yankees, Dodgers in the World Series, and I'm gonna take the Yankees to win it. I think that this is our year to win it.
The Yankees?
Who do you got?
I can see. My heart really wants the Guardians to just play Moneyball or Russian roulette and just fully get to the championship. win or lose, regardless. That would be a cool upset. But like I said, the Yankees are a tough team. The Dodgers are a tough team. They both have starting lineups that can easily, each member of that starting lineup could be in the Hall of Fame in 5 to 10 years. And that's scary. And some of their backups will be starters on other teams.
Yeah.
It's just
I just thought of that. Yeah.
it's just ridiculous of the amount of talent they have. But you can't be on the high horse. And that proves this because injuries can happen. We saw that with the Yankees earlier. Slippage can happen. We saw that with the Yankees earlier. And as well as the Dodgers for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like they can get upset about the Guardians.
So who do you have going to the World Series, and like who do you have coming out on top?
Yankees and Dodgers. I'm gonna say Dodgers.
And Dodgers.
Only because I like their pitching staff a little better.
Okay. Who do they have? Clayton Kershaw.
Mm-hmm.
Is Walker Buehler still there?
I think he is. But I think Kershaw is gonna set the tone.
Is he healthy now? Is he good to go?
I know he's very injury prone.
Yeah.
I know he's very injury prone, but I believe he got back.
Yeah, like is he good to go?
I think Clayton Kershaw.
Who is their starting rotation? Because that's also what I want to know too.
And I think the biggest pickup that nobody's going to talk about too much.
Uh-huh.
But they talked about it at the beginning, but they're not going to talk about it too much when it comes into the playoffs because there's so much star power. If that World Series happens, I think the pickup of Freddie Freeman is going to be a huge one.
That's who it is.
He's very clutch.
So Walker Buehler is done for the year, actually.
Yeah.
So
They took a hit. They took a hit.
Kershaw, David Price. Oh my God, he's still playing. Julio Urias, I think, if that's how you pronounce it. Andrew Haney, and Tyler Anderson. That's their.
When you say
that's their starting.
It sounds like we don't got a chance. But,
yeah.
I believe in the Dodgers.
I think they'll get pretty far.
It depends. It depends. If I feel like the Dodgers offense, if the offense can get rolling and the defense,
it
contain Judge. Is Stanton back or is he still hurt?
No, he's good. He's good to go.
Contain Judge, Stanton, LeMahieu. Is LeMahieu back or is he
I know he's out for this.
Okay, so if they get to the World Series,
look, you got like John coming behind us. Oh no, never mind. I thought that was John. I thought that was John.
But yeah, no, I think it'll be a good one. It's going 7. It's going 7 for sure.
It's going 7, yeah.
It's going 7 for sure. So
let's switch over to NFL.
Let's get into it, man. I think this week
you got your power rankings.
Yeah, after Monday's game, I was waiting for the Chiefs and Raiders to see how that happened.
I want to start off with right there, number 6. Who would have thought the Giants would be 4-1? Like, please tell me, like who? Like, I don't think any Giants fans had them going 4-1, let alone beating Green Bay. That was just crazy.
I think that people forget that football is a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one sport outside of basketball. Remember with the Pistons, but that happened only like once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can beat a team full of stars if your team is playing collectively, and I think a lot of people forget that. We saw this before. The Bears when they faced the Colts. Obviously, the Colts won, but they had great defense and a decent offense.
Yeah.
And great special teams. The Giants has that same thing, as well as the Cowboys.
Because they beat Green Bay, Carolina, Tennessee.
And they should have beat the Cowboys.
And who else did?
In my opinion, they should have beat the Cowboys. They should be 5-0 right now.
Who else did they beat? They beat Carolina, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. They just beat Green Bay.
Lost to the Cowboys.
They lost to the Cowboys. I'm trying to think of.
Was it Redskins?
Did they?
Oh, not Redskins. Commanders. Sorry.
Did they play Washington? No, I gotta check.
They played the Commanders. Speaking of Commanders, that name needs to be changed.
Now I gotta check because
It was the Commanders. I think it was the Commanders.
was it? Hold on. It
All right, well, why you
was
check, man?
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay, I'm gonna give you my top 5 in order. As you see, I wrote down a couple teams. I wrote down 6 teams. No order
Okay.
yet, but I'm about to give you the order right now. You ready?
Okay.
Number 1, the Bills. I know the Eagles are undefeated,
Agree. No.
but the way they won their games and how they won their games were really impressive.
Yeah, I go Bills 1.
Number 2, Eagles. I gotta give the Eagles are undefeated.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Number 3, the Chiefs. 'Cause
I'll
they
agree
lost
with
a
that.
close one.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Now, number 4
See, when
is really
it's
where.
so like interchangeable to
All
me.
right, so the 3 teams I have left that I wrote down is the Vikings, the Cowboys, and the Giants. Number 4 is so difficult for me to say.
Like the
But I'm gonna go with the
Vikings,
Cowboys,
the Cowboys over the Vikings.
and then the Vikings number 5, and the Giants are just outside, just by a little bit.
Okay.
They're just outside by a little
Yeah.
bit. Because the only reason why they win every game, but they scrape by every game. The
Mm-hmm.
difference between the Vikings and the Cowboys, they at least have one dominant game, regardless if the team was good or
Yeah,
not.
like me, I got Bills at 1, especially after the beating they just put on Pittsburgh. Number 2, I put the Eagles. They're like undefeated. They're like on a roll right now. 3, I put Kansas City. They're still a great team, but they didn't really impress me, especially with such like a close win over Vegas. Vikings, who are 4-1, who I actually was pretty high on at the beginning of the season. I had them winning like 12 or like 13 games. I was pretty high like on them, and I think they're doing like pretty great to start it off now. 5, I have Cowboys. They're 5-0 with Cooper Rush, right? Wait,
Yeah, overall.
or is it 4? I
They're
know.
4-0 this year, 5-0 overall. So like he won 1 game last year.
So they're 5 and no, they're 4-1 now, but they're 4-0 with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, and then they're 5-0.
Yeah,
the whole
collectively, like when he.
So this leads me to the question. We're getting a little off topic with our segments here, but this leads to the question that everybody has been talking about. I know a lot of people think it's the obvious answer, but some people think it's not. Should the Giants stay with Cooper Rush?
You mean Cowboys? Cowboys.
Sorry. Should the Cowboys stay with Cooper Rush? Especially if he pulls off an upset against the Eagles. I'll call it an upset, not because of the defense, but because of the offense. Because Cooper Rush, back quarterback, all that, yada yada yada. But if he goes into Sunday and beats the Eagles, should they stay with the hot hand, or should they bring Dak back?
I mean, they play what on Sunday night? That'll be like a pretty like a good game. I think if Cooper Rush wins that game, like if the Cowboys end up like beating the Eagles and Dak is good to go, I think you still stick with Cooper Rush. They're like on such a roll right now with Cooper Rush. Even I think I would give it if they lose 2 games in a row. Like for example, if they lose to the Eagles, but they put up a fight, you still stick with Cooper Rush. And then whoever, let's say they play, I don't know, like Jacksonville. I don't know who they play, but let's say they play like Jacksonville next week and they lose, then you could be like, all right, put Prescott back in, but I think you just got to stick with the hot hand.
I think I agree with you because this is what I thought about. When Dak comes back, your offense changes. Now everybody got different roles.
How long was he supposed to be out for? I'll check right
They were
now.
eyeing the Eagles game when he got hurt, but now they might wait till next week because since they're on a roll, they're
Yeah.
not rushing him back. So which is okay, you know. But I think play calling and play style matter. With Dak, they want to pass. They want to. He want to get 100, 125 rushing yards a game, but they're not going to be as run heavy with Cooper Rush. Also, we talked about this before with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. The conversation was who was better. The conversation was how does the team respond to which quarterback that is starting. Nick Foles had the Eagles playing better as a team. But Wentz was the better talent. But he didn't. The team didn't.
They were winning with Foles.
Yeah, the team didn't like that style. They didn't. I wouldn't say they didn't respect it. They just didn't like that style of just trying to pass heavy, this, and that. I think when you have a backup quarterback and it comes to a point where where your teammates come in and say, we want to make sure that we want to make sure you're comfortable as possible so that you can win this game. And we're going to do everything we can in my role to do that. And that's when teams start to play harder. When you have a star quarterback, I'm not saying like teammates or players and athletes lay off the gas, but they play different.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. I think they should stay with Cooper Rush, especially if he wins this game.
And then,
especially if he goes off for 300 yards.
And then, like, last, I'll put the Giants at 6 because they are a better team than than what they were last year, and I think their new coach is the best they've had since Tom Coughlin left. And I do think they'll win. I could see them winning like 9 or 8 games. But I think out of like those teams, I think they're like the worst one. Like out of those teams.
Yeah, now Giants are definitely exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
Speaking of expectations, a team that is not reaching expectations is the Carolina Panthers, who just fired head coach Matt Rule this past weekend. We call it weekend, or was it Monday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Monday?
Yeah, they fired him.
What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it was like bound to happen. I think as a coach, he went like 11-27 as because he came in like 2020, and then I think he won 5 games his first 2 years. He's only won 1 now, and his team has just like shown like no progression. And I think they signed him for 7 years, but he was only in his 3rd year, and they just like shipped him out. So I think it was. I'm not really sure because I don't follow the Panthers too much, so I don't know if it was a him problem or if it was the team. So I don't really know too much about that.
A lot of people are saying that it was more Baker than him.
It was more Baker.
I think 2 years is not enough. Yeah, they're playing horrible, but 2 years is not enough. Unless you see a coach out there that's like, he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Brian Dable for the Giants or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you do that. But if it's clearly him, like, we got to get more information. Like, if the players wasn't getting along with him, they wasn't really following his lead, stuff like that, then you got to let him go. But if he was doing everything he can and, like, the coordinators or the players weren't, like, doing something properly, yeah, it falls on you because you're the head coach, but at the same time, you gotta understand that he's giving it his all, and the quarterback that you got for him might not fit the system. Like, Baker looks like, excuse my language, but he looks ass.
He does. He looks so horrible. Like I was like cheering for him. Like I was like rooting for him. I thought that he was gonna go off, but
okay.
But no, he just hasn't been good.
I mean, speaking of that, man, before I move on, speaking of Baker, what is this sudden production and consistency from these backup quarterbacks? Jacoby Brissett, Cooper Rush.
Right.
What are they doing? I mean, yes, they're surrounded by a lot of talent. I'm not saying that. They're surrounded by a lot of talent.
Well, Jacoby Brissett is not a bad quarterback. He has like experience, so like it's not like
he's like a Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, and so is Bridgewater. Bridgewater is not a bad. Yeah, he's not.
Forget about
He's not a bad quarterback.
No, he's not a bad quarterback at all.
Who else is a backup that's like popping off, or like just doing good?
I think that's about it. But it was just like that a surgeon of just back quarterbacks just killing the league right now.
Yeah.
And it's cool. This is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get into something a little bit, well, not really serious, but it's something.
It's pretty funny.
Devontae Adams, after the Raiders and Chiefs games yesterday night, decided to push credential employee.
Yeah, like a stadium worker. Or
Yeah.
something. I don't know how that happened. So if I remember, I think they did like an interview and they said that he said he was frustrated and he was trying to get off the field, but the worker was like in his way, and so he gave him like a shove, but what he didn't expect was for him like to fall like on the ground like that. So he says he does apologize for that. That's the most that I know about it. Should he have even like touched him, I think you can't just like go around him or excuse me.
Yeah.
But I get it. In the heat of the moment, he was upset because of the way that they lost when he collided into Hunter Renfro.
Yeah. We also got some breaking news on that, thanks to our own Benny Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, I found it out. That's crazy. The worker who got pushed down just filed a police report on Devontae Adams. Pretty sure he's not gonna go to jail. He will ask for money. He probably will get it. He'll probably get what, like
100,000, couple 100,000.
yeah, yeah,
I-
like he'll probably just get something small
I'm
like
telling
that.
you what, right now, man. If that was me, I'd have been on the ground waiting for a stretcher.
Oh, if that was me, oh my God, I would be screaming like bloody murder. Like I would
Bro,
be like, don't touch me, don't touch me. Like I'm in so
I'd
much
have been
pain. Like
just, and I would have got that money, man. I don't care, man. I don't care.
yeah,
What
I would have got the
$100,000
money
change your
too.
life. $100,000 to Devontae Adams is nothing.
Yeah, that's like
Nothing.
$1 to him.
That's like $1 to him. He's a $100 million receiver. I don't
Yeah.
care. I would have been screaming bloody murder, my neck and my back.
Yeah, right.
Give me
Like
150,000 right now.
Heck yeah, I would have been.
Friday references, but
Yeah, my neck and my back. Yeah, heck yeah, I would have been on the floor like just screaming my head off.
I would have been crying. You saw fake tears and
Yeah.
everything. So get into something that is pretty serious to me
Oh.
and Benny at
Oh.
heart, okay?
Here we go.
This Pittsburgh Steelers, man, this is like the worst team in years. Definitely Mike Tomlin's worst team by far, production-wise. Maybe not talent-wise, but production-wise.
Yeah, I would say production-wise, because we do have. So there were some bright spots to look at. Like I'll start off with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny's fighting, man.
He did pretty good. Like on a scale from like 1 to 10, like 10 being like, oh, he did freaking amazing. Like Kenny gets like a solid like 7. I'll give him like a 7.
Give him
Like
a
he
C.
did, yeah. Like he did do pretty good. You saw when he shoved Shaq Lawson.
Mhm.
That was a dirty hit. I don't care what anybody says.
It was.
Like he's gonna fall, but you really gotta fall and like swipe at his
Mhm.
knees and like,
I know. There was a lot of hits that people didn't like. When Hamlin hit
yeah, when he slid. That was
and
I don't.
James
Yeah.
Daniels slammed.
Yeah.
But Hamlin and Pickett are former teammates.
Yeah, at Pitt. That's crazy.
And
And
he said in the post-game interview, he didn't mean nothing by it.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get him.
um,
So, Kenny knew it too, because Kenny didn't go after him. Kenny just sat there. So
Yeah.
Kenny knew it wasn't like harsh.
what are some? Oh, another bright spot was George Pickens again.
Oh, George Pickens! I'm telling you right
Again.
now, I said this.
He's
last
so
time,
good.
He is the second coming of Julio Jones.
He's so
I don't care what
good.
nobody say.
They threw that jump ball to him and he just
He's-
caught it. Like he's
The
like
scariest part about him to me, he's Julio mixed with a little bit of Odell.
like
He's Julio mixed with a little bit of Odell. The catches he's making right now is just scary.
he is good and you're telling me that Mitch couldn't get the ball to him those first 3.5 games? Like, come on. Like ever since Kenny came in, I think I saw like a stat. His stats with Mitch, I know his stats with Kenny, but I think his stats with Mitch was like, I want to say his stats with Mitch was like 7 catches, like 80 something yards, but his stats with Kenny, which is only a game and a half, is 12 catches, 185 yards.
He's definitely killing it right now. I think that's definitely a bright spot. My issue is that one, everybody knew he was gonna be good coming out of college. It was the injury that let his draft stock go down.
Yeah, like fall.
However, now the Steelers, in a year or two, if he goes on the trajectory that he looks like he's going to be a monster. Has, do you think if Pickens stay on this track, do you think the Steelers paid the wrong man in Deontay Johnson? Because now we.
I think if, and I do see it happening. I think if we continue to lose, which I do see happening, like I do see us winning 6 games, but I think that if those losses, like, here's how I see it. Pickens will ball out. I think he'll get, for example, like 70 catches, like 900 yards, and like 4 like touchdowns. But I do think he'll ask for a trade or something.
I don't think Pickens gonna ask for a trade.
I don't know if he'll ask for a trade, but
At the end of this season, what? Where'd you get that idea from?
cause like maybe it's just the pride in me. Like a team picks me out. The first 3.5 games I don't get the ball. Then I start popping off. My team still sucks, and I know we're gonna suck for the next like 2 years. I would want to get out of there.
I won, and you're just gonna suck for 2 more years. That's not bad. You're only in your third season.
I would want to get out of there.
Look. We're gonna suck this year.
He gives me diva vibes.
Next season, we're gonna be in the playoffs. Wild card team.
He gives me that like.
Third season, I think we're gonna be a powerhouse.
He gives me the if I don't get the ball every play, or he just gives me like Antonio Brown vibes, he kind of gives me like stats as like a win for him, like 10 catches, 150, and 2 touchdowns is a win for him. But if the Steelers win, it's like, oh hey, it's like another win. 9 catches for 80 yards, 0 touchdowns. He's gonna be like, oh, like.
All right, man. So man,
I'm open more.
what is that the Steelers' biggest problem though?
No, the Steelers' biggest problem is our defense. The fact that we have 0 defense without T.J. Watt is just horrible.
I think that
I would say it's our line. It's our defense.
our line has improved. I think there's 3 biggest problems for me. These are the biggest problems I think we have.
Okay.
1, cornerback position.
Yes.
We for years.
Yeah, it's always been our corners, man.
When we had Steven Nelson, Joe Hayden.
That was like a solid like
That
2-year
was a
stretch.
solid, yeah.
Like.
When Levi Wallace was a decent pickup. Our corners get beat. Sutton hasn't been playing too bad. Witherspoon gets beat pretty bad.
Witherspoon gets beat.
Millette gets beat pretty bad. I'm gonna get into him later because I heard some news about him.
Okay.
Problem number 2, Matt Canada. At the beginning of that Bills game, that game had the potential to be closer than it actually was.
Yeah.
When I watched that game, the first thing I noticed that frustrated me was we went away from what was working, and that was letting Kenny pass the ball. When Kenny was passing the ball, we were getting close to the red zone, or we were in the red zone.
So
when we gave it to Najee too much, that's when we had a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and then an incompletion.
Yeah. So like I'll get into that actually. So my 3 like biggest problems is 1, it's our defense. 2, I'm gonna go with Matt Canada as like our play caller, and I'll elaborate more on that because it's so predictable.
It's very predictable.
It's first down, run to Najee. Second down, run to Najee. Third down, pass it, and it just kept going on, and it kept like it was just horrible. And third, even though he's my favorite player, there's something wrong with Najee. I don't know if it's his injury that he got in training camp, but Jalen Warren was outproducing him this last game. Like I don't know what it is. There's like some plays where the holes are there, and I don't know what, like he's just not hitting them or like what it is, but it's not a big problem, but there is something going on with Najee, and I think the last thing I'll add is after the Bills took 98 yards off of us, I don't know if it was the first drive or the second drive when we scored
The field goal?
a field goal. just off that drive alone, that team looks very different with Kenny starting than Mitch. Because there was some plays where Kenny just stood tall, like in the pocket, and would just throw it.
Exactly.
So, and I even texted my dad. I was like, this team looks very different with Kenny starting.
And it's just the play calling needs to be improved.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. He has to go. I'm sorry. He has to go. He
Well,
had enough games.
Thomas said that they were gonna do, that like changes were coming.
And morale's really low. That's another big problem. Arthur Millette, went off in the locker room. After the game
Oh, he did? I didn't even know
he
that.
saw a lot of people joking and laughing on the sideline during the blowout loss.
He did?
But
I didn't even know
I
this.
Some people like laugh and joke to try to like stay positive. So he might not have to go off too much, but he did anyway. But
no, yeah, he should have.
He's right.
Because
Like,
that was embarrassing.
it's embarrassing, and people should be upset. Try to stay positive, but there's also a point where you got to get so frustrated that you realize something has to change. Whether that's you as a person, you as a player, or just the team in general.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because
I think that was very smart of him, and because he gets cut a lot. So they said he got cut 8 times.
he's gotten cut 8 times.
And every single time he came back.
That's crazy.
So like the players that are joking and laughing, I can see what he means. That like they have those $1 million contracts. He doesn't have that $20-30 million contract.
He's got to work for it.
He can
Yeah.
get cut anytime, and he can understand that based off what is history.
Yeah.
And he plays like every game is his last. Now, is he not playing? He can play a little better. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he could play a little better. And I mean,
I like the mentality.
it's just there's like so many things to fix with that team. Like we are gonna suck. Like I was talking to my roommate before the Bills game, and he was like, "So how do you see like this like 4-game stretch coming out?" I was like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, dude, we're gonna lose every single one of them. And he was like, "Oh no, come on! There's no way that we lose like all 4. Like you as a Steelers fan should know that." And I was like, "No, dude.
I wouldn't be surprised.
We're gonna.
I don't see Mike T losing 8 in a row. He's just too good of a coach.
Like I think we definitely lose to Tampa. I like if you told me like if I had to pick a game that I think we could beat. I think we beat Miami. Like.
Because Tua's hurt.
Like
Bridgewater might be out still.
Like
so
we're gonna lose to Tampa. We're gonna lose to the Eagles. Like I think there's a shot we beat Miami, but
I think we have a chance against the Eagles, only because their play style. They're really our running game has our running defense has improved, and if we can stop Jalen Hurts from getting out the pocket and then slow down the running game, that forces him to pass. And he's not the most accurate passer in the world. He's not bad, but he's not the most accurate. He's not like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. And their receivers, they're really talented, but they're not world beaters.
yeah.
I give us a chance to pull off the upset, not because of Kenny, but I mean, we would love for it to be Kenny, but
This
but
week
because of the defense.
or
against the Buccaneers, we got a chance because Brady has been. He hasn't like declined, but his offense ain't there. His O-line is not as good as it has been in previous years with the Buccaneers. I think Chris Godwin's still out. I mean, you got Mike Evans back. You lost Gronk, and that was your security blanket. So we'll see what happens with that.
and
So there are chances, but I believe in these 0-4.
my last thing about the Steelers is that like we just gave up, and you could see it. That team just gave up.
Yes.
And yeah, those are my 3 shows.
All right, my 3 shows for this week. Abbott Elementary. It really takes the life of a teacher and put it on display. A lot of there's a lot of shows try to do a life of a profession or a person.
Yeah.
And they get it completely wrong. But Abbott Elementary, I feel like they get it right on the nose. That is literally a day life of an elementary school teacher. That is how it goes.
What is it called?
Abbott Elementary. It's an amazing show.
Okay.
Second one, number 2 for me, the new Resident Evil TV show that's on Netflix. It's pretty good.
Oh, there's a TV show about
Yeah,
that?
I'm only at episode 1.
Okay.
However, it's They started off with a bang. So
Okay.
I know a lot of people were like, well, episode 1 should be on to the whole season. Yeah, but it's whatever. It's
No,
cool.
yeah.
My final one, I would say Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty,
and
new
Morty.
season's out.
I watched like a couple episodes. I do like it.
Rick and Morty is an
like
underrated
it.
show in terms of quality, characters, and creativity. They're always doing something different, and sometimes it's unexpected what they do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shows are very predictable nowadays, and that's one of the shows that is not.
Yeah.
So that's the 3 shows for the week. And now we're going to get to our hot take.
Hot take. Because we
And
just
our
came up with
question
that
I know.
today, yeah.
We came in on the flow.
Yeah.
Our question of today is college really worth it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
He
not.
says that
And
as we're in
and
college
and
right now.
yeah, and like I'm not gonna like shame on like anybody who went to college and got like a degree and became like
Respect it.
and became big, but we just had, I guess I'll call him like our technical producer.
Yeah, technical
Yeah,
producer.
who
You know?
like just came in and we thought he was like a graduate student. It turns out that I guess you want to say what, like he dropped out?
Yeah.
He
wanted to go back
yeah.
to COVID.
He dropped out during his COVID year here, and he was a photography major.
Mhm.
And it turns out he works here now, doing this video and like photo stuff, and he doesn't even have a degree in
He
it,
doesn't have a
and he
degree.
gets paid here to do
He
it.
gets paid pretty well. Too.
Yeah, which
And
is
he's part of these cool projects. They're gonna do a video podcasting room. Speaking of that, you're gonna see us in the video
Yeah.
podcasting room in about a few weeks. It looks way better. You're also gonna see us in a new newsroom with amazing backdrop of the bridges in Mount Washington.
yeah, and there's just like a college puts you in like a lot of debt
A lot of that.
because there's no guarantee that you become successful or you get a great job in your field
Mhm.
after you graduate college. And I just feel like, I mean, it is good because you do gain experience and connections. But overall, if I could go back, during my senior year, I most likely would not do college.
I feel it. I've been contemplating dropping out of college a few times.
Well, you have what, a couple months left,
I
right?
got a couple months left.
You got a couple months left.
We're about to be hitting the scene.
I got a year left here, so
Hopefully they'll allow me to still do the podcast after I graduate.
Yeah.
If not, we'll just find another place.
I got
Excuse my language.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta put the explicit content on there.
yeah, I got this year and next year, and then
Yeah,
I'm
you're out,
done.
man.
Yeah, and then I'm out.
I was contemplating dropping out, but now like I said, I got a few months left, so I might as well just finish it out.
No, there's sometimes like I'll be like sitting like in like my room and I'll be like, is college worth it, man? Like, is it like
Exactly, man.
like oh I'm like I should just drop out, but yeah, it's whatever now.
I go home tired, drained, exhausted, and yet I still gotta do a project that's due by the end of the weekend or due by the end
Very
of
like
the day.
I got
or
an
the
assignment due like.
And it's with our hot take, I guess we're gonna do something new too. Our life lesson for today. Life is about living, not surviving. This is why this question is so important. We feel drained and tired every day. And we gotta sleep and we gotta repeat it all over again. That is not what life's about. This is why I contemplated from dropping out. And that's probably why you probably contemplated. It's like we're not doing things we enjoy, or we're doing too much of something. And it just makes you not want to do anything anymore. So if you got loved ones that's stressing, overworked, tired, drained, whether it's college, work, or mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, whatever it is, friends, you got to check up on them. And you got to show them that there's other ways. You can start a business. You can be a technical producer without a degree. Social media is a very scary place sometimes, but it's also a very useful tool. You can learn a lot of things, you can meet a lot of new people, and you can network to where you want to be at. All right, man. I think based off of that, I think we can end it off right here.
Yeah, I think we covered everything.
But before we go, there's also a new segment we want to introduce. I did it last week. You're going to do it this week.
What?
Our song of the week.
Oh yeah, you you like brought it up. If you want to go first, if you want to talk about your song.
All right.
or-
The song of the week that's gonna be at the end of this video and our audio. Make sure you follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Play, Apple
Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah. All of the platforms.
All the platforms. Just all of them. Just search our name.
Risk Play Podcast. That's
Song
what
of
it
the
is.
week. I'm gonna go with. J. Cole. No Role Models.
Tell me why as soon as you said J. Cole, I was like, he's going to say no role models. No,
I did J. Cole
like
last week. I like J. Cole, if y'all didn't notice, but you know.
No, I like it. I like that song choice.
What about you, man?
Song choice, let's see.
You gotta pick something good too. You gotta get something bumping. Whether it's a stadium anthem. I was gonna do Seven Nations Army,
A Seven Nation Army.
but I want to be a little different.
You want to be, okay, let's see. Now
I know.
you got me thinking now.
I didn't brief him on this, by the way, so he's just thinking about it.
Let's go with. Damn. All right, here we go. We're gonna go with "Enter Sandman" by Metallica.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's a great
That's
way.
A lot of NCAA teams use
Yeah.
that. A lot of professional teams use that. That's a hype.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that hype
That
song.
song is not really a hype song, but you know, you get hype on it.
It could be like a hype song. No role models. Yeah.
Okay. All right, man.
All right. I guess that wraps up episode 7.
Yeah, we did good, man. We stick tuned to more videos. Like I said, follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Anchor, all the audio platforms. Video wise,
yeah.
YouTube. You already know what the deal is.
At Risk Play Podcast, we'll get this episode out as soon as we can.
Yeah, we'll catch you later.